What's happening, my Jack family? Coach Scott here. Today, let's discuss eating food for fuel or for pleasure. Today's topic was inspired by some great conversations I've been having recently with my coaching clients, as well as a comment I received on a recent video from Justin. Justin, my man, thanks so much for your positive vibes, your encouragement, your support, and again, your comment, sharing the struggles that you're facing. I appreciate every single comment that I receive on these videos. It's a shared experience. This Jacked After 40 life, we are learning and growing together, sharing our challenges and sharing our mini victories, sharing what's working for each of us. And as you can see from Justin's comment, his struggle is very similar to what a lot of us fellow men over 40 can relate to, that food is our biggest obstacle, that it's just so freaking nice, that it is so freaking good. This reminds me of a conversation I had recently with one of my coaching clients where he's kind of feeling like he's ready to throw in the towel, that he just loves food too much, that he wishes he could train his brain or kind of trick his brain into liking broccoli just as much as he loves pizza. Now, that is a tall order to ask for, as pizza tastes so freaking delicious. I don't think pizza is ever going to taste, broccoli is ever going to taste just as good as pizza does. And that isn't the goal that we should be aiming for, to kind of gain more pleasure from eating broccoli than we would pizza. That's just never going to happen. We're never going to have that similar kind of experience from eating some of the vegetables that we include in our diet as we would some of our favorite treats. But there's many different ways you can gain pleasure from your eating experiences beyond the temporary satisfaction that your taste buds experience when your favorite treats hit your tongue. Now, I do believe that most of the foods that you should eat, the meals that you consume, you should enjoy. And among those meals, most of the foods that you consume, you should absolutely love. You should be craving those foods. You should have a strong desire for every meal that you eat. Now, there are going to be some foods that you don't desire quite as much, such as my one client David there mentioned, broccoli. Broccoli is like, I don't have a strong love, a strong desire for broccoli or cauliflower when it comes to taste. Now, there are some vegetables I absolutely love. I love making baked Brussels sprouts. I love asparagus. There's just some veggies, peppers. When I slice up peppers and fry them up or add them in a stir fry, like those I absolutely freaking love. When I slice up some peppers and have them raw, they're okay, they're nice, but I don't love them, and I certainly don't love them as much as I would pizza. Now, I do love eggs. Like, eggs that's a food that I crave each and every day. Like, I can't get enough of eggs. So if I don't have eggs each and every day, like that day I don't have eggs, I feel like I'm missing out on something. Again, and oats, like I really love my oats, and adding the morning motivator in there, like some cacao powder and the maca powder in there, it's absolutely freaking awesome. Like, I love these meals. I have the broccoli and cauliflower and carrots in that meal. That aspect of the meal I don't enjoy as much, but the thing about, like, I still eat it even though it's not my favorite food, even though I don't have a strong love for that food. I eat it because of the pleasure it gives me throughout the rest of my day. Like, I know it is, like, those vegetables, those cruciferous vegetables are great for optimizing my male hormone health. I know they are loaded with micronutrients, vitamins, minerals that are going to allow me to thrive. So yes, I find, like, for most of the time, I am viewing my food as fuel, like putting premium fuel in my body so I can feel my best, I can perform my best, my mental clarity is going to be through the roof. I'm gonna have better focus, better productivity in all that I do. My work, giving the best of myself to my family, giving the best of myself to my training, just my everyday life. So yes, I wanna make sure that I am consuming food that is going to allow me to perform my best, feel my best, but I'm also consuming foods that I absolutely freaking enjoy. I love my breakfast morning shake. That's another meal in my day that I just can't go without. Like, I have a tough time starting my day without that shake. It's just, there's something about it. There's something about the routine, something about the habit. There's something about just, like, I love having a liquid breakfast. I love that it's loaded with spinach in there. Again, lots of minerals, lots of vitamins in there. I love the flavor from the protein powder and cashew milk or the almond and coconut milk that I use. There's just something about it that I enjoy the taste, but I enjoy how it makes me feel. I don't like having anything filling in the morning, like overly filling in the morning. It's sitting in my stomach. I just like something that's a little bit light, it's easy, it's quick, it's convenient. So I do gain a lot of pleasure from not only the experience of consuming that shake, like I love the taste, my taste buds are dancing, but I'm thriving, like I gain pleasure from how that shake makes me feel. And it's pretty immediate, even though it's still like in my digestive system, there's something, it's immediately, I feel better from consuming that shake. That second meal of the day, the eggs, along with the veggies, the oats, the berries, the morning motivator or the maca powder, and they're like, that is an incredibly filling and satisfying meal for me. I love the taste, I love the flavors, I love the food combinations in there. Like I will sprinkle on some pink Himalayan salt, some ground black pepper on my veggies to add a little bit of flavor to it as well. Makes it a little bit more enjoyable experience there. I do usually steam them. I find that's one of my favorite ways to consume that meal, but that meal totally nourishes me. Like that is typically my pre-workout meal. The reason I consume that meal pre-workout is because of how it makes me feel. Like it is providing my body with premium fuel to give my best effort during my training session. Post-workout, I left behind the Greek yogurt, the berries. Again, usually either the morning motivator I'll add in there or some maca powder in there. So I add some flavor. Sometimes like in maintenance mode or muscle building mode, I'll add like half a scoop of protein powder, sometimes a whole scoop of protein powder. Again, for flavor and again, to get my protein up there. I know that as we're aging, us men over 40, we don't utilize the protein in our diet, in our meals, as well as we used to when we were younger. So I want to make sure my protein intake is up. So I'm giving my body the best opportunity to grow, to improve. So again, like that's a great post-workout meal. It's like I'm still feeling usually typically fairly satisfied from that second meal, so I go with a little smaller meal so I'm not full for dinner coming up. I typically like to go with that 4 meals a day. Just seems to suit me best. Again, we're all different. You need to know what works best for you, your lifestyle, and paying attention, having that heightened sense of awareness to how your body's responding to those meals. So that's a great nourishing body. Like my body's ready to absorb all of that. Of course, like post-workout, that post-workout meal that I'm consuming isn't gonna have the same kind of effect as that pre-workout meal, because that meal is already digested. Those nutrients are already in my bloodstream. That's what's gonna go to repairing, rebuilding, and growing my muscles post-workout. Then dinner, I get my variety, lots of veggies. Again, each dinner meal is something that I enjoy, and again, I try to incorporate veggies and nutrient-rich foods that I crave. Sweet potatoes, I'm telling you, it's like candy to me. I freaking love sweet potatoes. So it really helps to find these nutrient-rich foods that you enjoy, that you do crave. But not only do you gain pleasure from the taste of those foods, sometimes it's how you prepare them, but you gain pleasure from how your body responds afterwards, how you feel from that meal shortly afterwards and as the day goes on. And really having a heightened sense of awareness, how you feel throughout the days is absolutely key. Like being aware of the fuel that you're providing your body, how does it make you feel? Is it making you feel sluggish afterwards? Like that's great that you're having your favorite treat. You love cookies and you have a cookie, it gives you a little spike in energy and then boom, the crash. That's not great for sustain. That's not turning you into a high performance machine. I want you striving for your potential, living your life to the fullest. That's what this Jacked After 40 life is all about. The training we're doing, the foods that we're eating, it's to live your life to the fullest. And part of living your life to the fullest is definitely consuming our favorite treats. I'm not giving up my cheesecake anytime soon, ever. I love cheesecake. I love chips. And I just work those in there. It's all part of the experience. Like I love sharing some of those eating experiences with family, with friends. It's all part of the shared experience. It should be part of our lifestyle. Part of the enjoyment is including some of these favorite treats, but it's just being picky, picky and choosy with when you're including these favorite treats. And had a great conversation. I've had many great conversations with one of my clients, Dean. He makes some great comments on the YouTube video as well. And oftentimes, Dean will comment on some of my videos like, dude, you read my mind, like this is exactly what I'm going through. Well, this is the beauty of this journey. we're all going through a similar thing. We all face similar challenges. We all face similar obstacles, as Justin is seeing right now, just based on what David said in his comment and what Dean says. Like, Dean has told me many times, like, he's so much like me. He loves chips. He loves ice cream. He loves the M&Ms. Like, him and I, like, some of our favorite treats are exactly the same, and we're kind of working through that. It's like, yeah, we love, I mean, I love food. I love food just as much as everyone else, and it tastes just as great to me as everyone else. It's like, I'm eating all these like nutrient-rich foods and nutrient-rich meals to perform my best, to thrive. I freaking love those meals, and I'm not eating them because I love pizza any less. It's just I'm more picky and choosy with when I consume those meals, and a lot of times I gravitate more towards what is going to make me feel my best in this moment. I know there's temporary satisfaction that's going on. I want to share a recent story. I just shared this in the Jacked at the 40 Club. So yesterday, I'm recording this, it was New Year's Eve yesterday. My day was normal. I woke up, had my 2 cups of coffee, went for my walk, had a cup of hot chocolate afterwards. It's part of my little guilty pleasure there. I freaking love it. Shortly after that, I had my breakfast shake. Then I didn't have my typical pre-workout meal, the eggs, the oats, and pears. I skipped that, knowing that post-workout, I was going to be having sushi. And I also trained a little bit earlier than normal to kind of accommodate for that. So worked out, it's around noon. And then after the workout, ordered sushi, and it was so, that's my favorite treat. I can't get enough of sushi, but really learned to eat to the point of satisfaction with that, not overstuffing myself with it. I find it's a much more enjoyable experience when I eat just to that point of satisfaction. Feeling full, but not over full. Oftentimes I'll just eat satisfied. I'm not really quite feel full. I push the plate away, I'm like, that's enough, I feel good, I'm satisfied. Whenever I get over full, I try to avoid that at all costs, because it just doesn't feel good to me. I'm not feeling my best, I'm not performing my best when I overeat. So I had that sushi, it was like around 2:30, and then 4:30, I had to go get some toothpaste at the store, the local store here. At this store, it's where my favorite chips are, the peanut butter M&Ms that I always get, Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Like, whenever I want to treat myself on a Friday night or Saturday night, that's where I go. And I knew, it's New Year's Eve, it's a Friday night, I usually treat myself on Friday nights. I should get some chips or ice cream or peanut butter M&Ms, or all of them, which I have done on occasion at time. But then I stopped myself, I'm like, dude, like, you're satisfied, like, you're feeling comfortably full, like, comfortably satisfied from the sushi. You're not hungry right now. Why are you thinking of these foods, these treats? I know I love them. You don't really need them, and you really don't want them. First of all, it's been the holiday season. I've been treating myself throughout the holidays. I don't really feel like I want any treats right now, but because I was going to that store, it's a habit, it's routine. A store where I usually get my treats from, it got in my head, I should pick up some treats. And I'm like, you don't need it, you don't want it. Just go get your toothpaste, come home, you're gonna be fine. So I get to the store. As I'm walking into the store, I'm thinking, well, you know what? If they're on sale, I think I'll get them. So I walk down each of the aisles where the M&Ms were, where the ice cream was, where the chips were. They weren't on sale. Still, I stood there, I'm like, should I get it? Should I get it? It's Friday night, it's New Year's Eve. Just treat yourself, just live a little. It's like conversations going through my mind. Guys, I'm just like you. We all have these conversations through our heads. We're all trying to justify the consumption of these foods, even when they don't serve us, even when we don't really need us. The temptations are freaking real, they are strong. It is not easy to overcome these conversations. So I had to stand there for a few seconds thinking to myself, again, you don't need these foods. You've had treats all week long. You're comfortably satisfied. You're comfortably full right now. You don't need these foods. Grab my toothpaste, left, boom. I mean, that's a huge mini victory for me. I say, that's a huge victory. That's not a mini victory. That's a huge victory that I celebrated in the Jacked at the 40 Club this morning. Like, that's a big moment, because that's a huge temptation for me, as it would be for many of you. And again, just thinking to myself, that isn't going to, if I eat those foods, it's gonna push me over the limit. I'm gonna feel overfull. I'm gonna feel lethargic. I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. Probably gonna sleep late, crap, all these different things that that's not pleasure to me. Eating those foods in that moment wasn't pleasure for me. So I'm gonna save it for another time when I will gain pleasure from that experience. And again, it's just a matter of picking and choosing your times, your moments. And again, a great conversation that I had with Dean was that we've been kind of looking at his diet, his macros, and he's like, his fats are a little higher than he would like them, but a lot of the meat choices that he makes are higher fat meats. Again, good natural foods, but he enjoys having bacon with his breakfast every day. So he has eggs, has his bacon. Like, his breakfast is probably one of his best meals of the day there. And we're looking at just, all right, how can we cut the fat? What can we do to work in more nutrient-rich foods into your diet here? Kind of keep the fat down and boost some other things up to help you feel your best, perform your best. And right away, like, his heightened sense of awareness, like, I didn't have to tell him. He's like, yeah, I could cut it back, like maybe have it every few days or something like that. And it's boom, that's awesome. And like what I told him is like, oftentimes when you start cutting back on some of these treats, some of these foods that you absolutely love, it's hard at first, but you go a few days without it, have it, go a few days without it. It's like you don't have as strong as a desire as you once had for those foods. I've been there before. I look at my diet. That's the beauty of like all the programs I've created over the years. I've always included my diet that I followed that plan at the time. And just seeing how my diet has evolved over the years, like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, the Shredded After 40 12-week shred system, 5 years ago, that treats every single day. I incorporated a lot of my favorite treats all the freaking time. It was just focusing on my calorie target. I mean, that was great. It worked for me. I dropped my 20 pounds and got in fantastic shape. Everything, like, fantastic. All good. Now, I mean, recent mini cut, I did nothing, 4 weeks, nothing but whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods. That was the best fat loss phase I had ever gone through. I had the most energy. I didn't feel deprived. I didn't feel lethargic. I had my full focus, my clarity to get to my work, to give to my friends, to give to my family. I felt my best by consuming whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods. Now it doesn't mean you have to do that all the time. I didn't include any of my favorite treats. It was only 4 weeks. And, but I'm definitely finding like I've gravitated more and more towards like at least 95% of the time I'm consuming whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods because of how it makes me feel. I gain so much pleasure. Like, I love food. I love my treats. I love thriving so much more. I want to thrive. I want to feel my best. I want to be able to give the best of myself to you so I can help you live your best life as well, and everyone else that I come in contact with throughout the day. So should you eat for fuel or pleasure? I don't think it's an either or thing. I think it's a combination thing, but I think you have to be you gotta think different about what pleasure means to you. And yes, the foods you eat should be pleasurable, but there's gonna be some foods that you eat that you don't quite enjoy as much. Again, like broccoli, cauliflower, like your mom said, it's good for you. It's for your own good to eat your broccoli and cauliflower, especially for us men over 40 and our hormone health, to kind of keep the estrogens normal, balanced, lower out of our system and keep our testosterone levels high. So some foods aren't going to be quite as enjoyable, but in the big picture, you're combining some of those foods with other stuff that you absolutely freaking enjoy. So that overall meal, that overall eating experience is fantastic for you. But again, there's so many different vegetables. Like I said, the broccoli, the baked broccoli, oh my freaking, not broccoli, Brussels sprouts. Again, that's like candy to me, just like the sweet potatoes are. So finding ways to like know what you enjoy, finding ways to prepare them in ways that you can get even more enjoyment out of them. So it was a way longer video than I ever expected it to be. I wasn't expecting to get it all out in one take pretty much here as well. I just went with the flow here. I hope you have benefit from this discussion here. I would love to hear your thoughts, your insights. I'm going to be talking a heck of a lot more about different strategies that we can incorporate, but again, I want you to think about striving for your potential, consuming the foods that allow you to achieve your potential. And yes, that is going to include some of your favorite treats because those are pleasurable experiences that contributes to a great life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. Again, I'd really appreciate it if you know a fellow brohood benefit from watching today's video. Please do me a favor and share it with them. More than anything, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments section below. So share your thoughts, share your insights, share your feedback. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you in the next video.